begin. The board is now in session. Mr. Chairman, I call the first case, Joseph D. Pasquale, L. D. Pasquale and Sons, Inc., trading as D. Pasquale's, 3700 Gulf Street. This is a Class BD7 beer run and liquor license. Here for request to add outdoor table service, live entertainment, and on-premise catering. Please come forward and raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you each state your name into the microphone and spell it if the gentleman down there needs the spelling?
It's Will Bauer, B-A-U-E-R.
Joseph D. Pasquale, D-I, capital P-A-S-Q-U-A-L-E.
Okay, and so it's your place, Mr. Di Pasquale, is that correct? Can you describe it for us? Is it a grocery store carryout?
It's a marketplace, a little sit-down, full deli, some pizza,
Okay.
pay around.
And what is it that you're proposing to add?
We wanted to give some outdoor seating, a couple of small tables out front.
Okay, so, and I see under the zoning regulation, they've imposed some restrictions on that. It's a
Yes.
three-table
Three
limit.
tables, 6 seats.
Okay. No outdoor bar, 6 feet of sidewalk, and that sort of thing?
Yes, sir.
You're aware of all those restrictions? Okay. And, let's see. And how long have you had this facility?
Well, this location since 1987, but we've been around since 1914.
You look great for 102, by the way.
You're doing very well for that.
It was actually Baltimore County when they opened up. East Avenue was the boundary of Baltimore City.
Okay.
They were in Snake Hill.
And your connection is?
I worked for Di Pasquale's for many, many, many years, and I'm helping through the process.
Okay. Do the commissioners have questions for Mr. Di Pasquale?
I have a couple maybe. Is this the location that had some damage last year after the uprising or no?
That was Trinakia.
That was Trinakia, okay. And is this a letter of objection or?
What is this?
Have you seen this
Yeah,
letter
have you?
No.
We have a letter.
of opposition?
Where did this come from?
I just got it. It was just handed to me.
It was sent this morning.
It was sent, someone delivered this to us?
Is that person here?
Yes. Is Mr. Durr present? Oh, okay. Can you come forward, sir? And state your name, please.
My name is Ronald Durr.
You have to speak into the microphone.
My name is Ronald Durr, D-E-R-R.
Okay, and could you swear him, please?
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, so Mr. Durr, what is your opposition to this?
I'm concerned about the live entertainment and the hours. I mean, now they're going to expand packaged goods, and I know they've been there a long time. My family, we've been there 48 years, and
When you say you've been there, where are you in proximity
I'm at
to?
3603 Gulf Street.
Okay.
Yes.
So in the same block or the next block?
The next block.
Okay. And so you're looking for some explanation of what's planned in terms of live entertainment?
I've seen some live entertainment last year, and it was a bit much. I mean, I heard they're going to have live entertainment. It's going to be inside, no liquor and so forth, but there was live entertainment last year, and I believe there was outside.
So what are the plans for the live entertainment? And how did you have it last year if you didn't have a license for it?
I don't recall any live entertainment. I don't recall any of that last year.
Can you speak into the microphone, please?
I
sir?
don't recall any live entertainment.
I think everybody's agreed that the live entertainment is going to be acoustical and ending at 7 p.m. According to our agreement with the zoning board.
So acoustical meaning,
Not amplified.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Accordion, music, clarinets.
Were you aware of that, Mr. Durr?
Not before this, no.
I think the zoning hearing was back in May,
Yes.
when they approved us for live entertainment at that point.
Okay, and it's approved, and it's to end at 7 p.m., did you say?
7 p.m., yes.
Were you aware of that, Mr. Durr?
No.
Do you have an objection to that?
If it ends at 7, okay.
Okay.
like I said, it's in my right. I mean, there's like 10 families here with small children. I mean, that's not why we moved here. I mean, I was so little when I moved there, and I mean, I've seen my neighbors walk by, because I know the other day they said it was an issue, people walking by. My neighbor said, well, they had to make changes. He said people going in the street. And it's like, well, I seen a neighbor down the street with a little baby going in the street, and that shouldn't take place.
Okay, so I'm sure, Mr.
And I
Davis-
should correct it. So according to the zoning here, it's 7 PM weeknights and 10 PM Friday and Saturday nights for live entertainment, just to make it clear. But that was the BMZA back in June.
well, you've been there a long time, so you must know the neighbors?
Very well.
Okay. And do they have any hesitation in complaining to you when they don't like what's going on?
I have a very good relationship with the neighbors.
You know Mr. Durr?
I do. I'm just surprised he didn't come to me before.
This is the first we've seen this letter, by the way. I'm sorry. It's the first time we've seen this.
Okay. Okay, do the commissioners have any questions based on Mr. Durr's testimony?
I guess the only question I have you ever complained to the owners or management about anything related to the business and its operation?
We've had some discussions about the parking. I mean, somebody was making a delivery, and I explained, that's fine, you're making a delivery, but move to the right side, Dean Street, people can get by. Driver said, well, I'm making a delivery, I don't have to do that.
Okay, so that's sort of an issue with the
Yes.
delivery, and do you feel like that's been resolved, or
No.
is that an ongoing situation? And maybe that's something that you all could talk about after today and see if you can't. I mean, I've had to
yes.
shout down delivery people, and they always win. I just want to tell you that it's more them than the business. But
Had some discussions, if some of my neighbors, I'm one of them, if you park in front of their place more than an hour, we get a note on our windshield. That takes place. I don't know why, because we've done, about several years ago, we actually signed a petition to remove street cleaning in his block so his customers could park
and it's a note from the
Somebody from-
restaurant or from
yes.
the city.
from the restaurant.
Okay,
I mean, one of my neighbors said, well, mine was signed. I said, mine wasn't.
so maybe
And we had a street cleaning, and I've talked to, if I'm leaving early enough in the morning, this driver, I said, well, you're parking my street. Well, today's street cleaning, you really shouldn't be there. It's like, well, I come home, my neighbors are like, somebody was there. It's like, you need to go talk to Joe or somebody. I mean, if somebody cleans it, if somebody comes up, that's fine. I have no issue with me. Otherwise, I'll complain.
Yeah, so it sounds like there's issues related to traffic and mobility, and we don't have any jurisdiction over that, but these are small things
Like
that.
you ask complaints and you
Yeah,
want.
yeah, and you
Yes.
answered my question. I appreciate it, but I guess what I'm not hearing is anything related to the operation of the business, any music or noise or any issues related to that. And I'm not asking you to create
Yes.
any,
No,
but
no, no,
but
no, I'm not
there's
creating any.
nothing documented.
It's noisy. I mean, actually, I was talking to my neighbor the other day, apparently around Thanksgiving, I mean, a lot of they park where they park, and they get nasty towards one another, his customers.
Yeah. Okay.
And we
All right.
maintain 10 parking spots in our parking lot, plus a verbal agreement with the neighbors next door, Zanino's, for their parking lot, too. For
Okay.
off-street parking.
Okay. So there is off-street parking.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that,
All right.
I'm sorry. May
All
I
right.
ask, is that new?
All right. So what I want to do is have your
Okay.
questions come this
I'll say
way.
yes,
and-
I was
yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
ask this,
So
I'm
we'll
sorry.
you can have a discussion afterwards.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Those are all the questions that I have.
Commissioner Greenfield?
I just want to make sure, Mr. Di Pasquale, first of all, let me pronounce it correctly. You're certainly open to working with the community on some of these issues. I noticed that Mr. Durr has raised, not just parking, but, noise. I just want to make sure that there's someone, whether it's you or someone, a manager, that he can contact, so when these issues come up, as he drives by, that there is some outlet for him to try and address these.
Well, I am the working manager and owner of the establishment, and I'm very sensitive to deliveries, parking. I look out for the neighbors all the time. I even allow my neighbors to park on my parking lot. I allow that, and I know how obnoxious the delivery trucks can be. Unfortunately, it's activity. Thank God we're busy. There's a lot of action there. And the festival he's referring to is for the community. If at the Thanksgiving, around that time, that is for the Highlandtown Community Association. That's an outdoor event that ends up in my parking lot.
The Wine Fest?
No, it's the basement bar tour. that ends up at my store. I think that's the event that Mr. Durr is referring to. But that's for the community, and there's never any entertainment out there. The noise may be some conversation, in the community.
So
But
how will you just a couple questions. Your application notes live entertainment be provided, yes, music and DJ. So I want to clarify, because Mr. Bauer had mentioned that it's acoustic only. Will there, a DJ, I'm no club goer, at least not currently, but a DJ, I assume, has amplifiers.
Well, through the speakers that exist in the building, obviously, live entertainment's a broad topic, but it's through their existing speaker system that
Okay.
plays music
All right.
currently.
And will you have
But
some kind of noise buffers for the community, especially on the weekend nights? Has that been, I know that was a recommendation in the BMZA.
I'll be there, and I'll be at any event, and I certainly will adjust to any complaints, and, I act on it.
Great. I just want to make sure that the community has a direct outlet to you or your staff should issues arise.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Is
I'm
there-
sure Joe and myself will give our cell phone numbers to you if you have any problems at any time, just let us know.
Okay, can I speak?
Yes.
I mean, he was discussing deliveries. I mean, some of the issues, it's like 4 a.m. trash deliveries and deliveries on food. That's too early, much too early.
It's illegal we've already taken care of that. It's illegal to.
Yeah,
So I
it is.
made my trash service
Yes.
aware of that through email. It's all been documented. It's all been taken care of.
Yes.
Okay.
We're still getting food deliveries at 4 in the morning.
I don't know where they're delivering because no one's there at 4 in the morning.
They drop it off, Uptown Bakery.
Yeah, I know. That happens in Charles Village. And I only know this because when I walk my dog, there's bread outside of the restaurant. So maybe that's something you can talk to them about. Yeah, I mean,
So
yeah.
Is the community organized? Is there a community organization with whom you work, or is it just one-on-one with various neighbors?
It's the Highland Town Community Association.
Okay. And are you a part of that, sir?
Yes, I was discussing it with one of them yesterday. And he's like, "Well, I won't be home tonight." He goes, "I'll see you Thursday." Okay.
Well, I mean, I think it would probably be a good idea if there was some regular contact so that these issues can get resolved before they come here.
We talked about it. He says, "Well, I don't live on your block, so I don't know about the complaints." He goes, "I'll believe what you say." He goes,
Who he?
Brian Sweeney, I believe,
He's the
president.
of the association.
Because he goes, "I go talk to Joe for you." He goes, "I go talk to Joe." So
Okay.
he goes, "I want
I
to
think
talk to him."
you went to them
Yes.
about
Yeah.
2 or 3 months ago before the hearing for the
Yes.
zoning.
Yeah, and I have a good relationship with them. We work together in several events, and there's also a lot of construction going on around there, which is sort of a little more irritating lately because the alleys are being clogged up by construction trucks. There's a lot of activity there. Again, thank
Seems
God.
to be a lot of construction going on around town these days.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm sure that's adding to the
It's a good sign.
pain. I mean, and parking issues, you're well aware. I mean, when there's action, there's issues.
Okay.
Right.
Anything further?
No, I know that you brought your daughter
Yes.
with you today, and I just wanted to say thank you to you and to your daughter for coming in and voicing the concerns, and it's appreciated.
I mean, if you, I think working through the association is a good idea. If you're feeling like you're not being heard there, I think you can take issues directly to these gentlemen.
Okay.
Okay?
Or if there's, I'll come see you.
Perfect. Perfect.
Okay. So, based on what's been presented in the materials, and we'll make this exhibit and the record exhibits. Yes, exhibits as part of the record for this hearing. We don't have any other opposition. It's been approved by the zoning board for this limited use. I don't find that there's an adverse impact on the general health, safety, and welfare of the community. You're cognizant of the traffic issues and noise issues and other things, and I am going to give you the benefit of the doubt that you'll take good care of those things and work with the community to do that. So I would vote to approve the request for table service, live entertainment, and off-premise catering.
Thank you.
I concur.
Thank you.
I concur as well.
Thank you.
Okay?
And I can see you down here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Akris, whenever you're ready.
Calling Sam Wynn and Doug Lou Kim, Do Big Incorporated, trading as Green Tree Liquors, 1400 West Baltimore Street. It's a Class A beer, wine, and liquor license. This is an application to transfer ownership. When you come forward, please state your name for the record and be prepared to be sworn in if you're going to be giving testimony.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, Mr. Chairman. My name is Hunjae Shin. That's spelled H-Y-U-N as in Nancy, J-A-E. Last name is S-H-I-N as in Nancy. I'm the attorney for the applicants. To my immediate right is the interpreter for Mr. Kim. This is Mrs. O. If you can state your name.
Good morning.
My name is Myung, M-Y-U-N-G. Last name spelled O-H. I'm the court interpreter in the state of Maryland.
Okay.
성함을 말씀해 주세요.
Can you speak into the,
She needs to be
제
sworn in.
이름은
Yes, ma'am.
D-O-N-G 동 L-Y-U-L K-I-M
My
김입니다.
name is spelled D-O-N-G-L-Y-U-L. Last name Kim, K-I-M.
Mr. Kim, and the gentleman over here?
My name is Sam Wynn, W-I-N-N.
Mr. Wynn, good morning. Now, would the three of you raise your hands, please?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Need to swear that the interpreter in as well.
Yes.
And Mrs. O, I need to swear you in as an interpreter. Do you swear or affirm that the interpretation you will give in this hearing will be to the best of your ability?
I do.
Okay. Counsel?
Commissioners, as an initial matter, I wanted to report that we did reach out to the neighborhood association. It's called the Franklin Square Community Association. We spoke with the president of the association, Miss Edith Gigliarconti, and she stated that the 1400 West Baltimore Street business has been a model business in the community. There has been no issues with any loitering or criminal activities in the area. As far as she's concerned, that she is all for transfer of the business.
Did she provide you something in writing to
She
that
did not
effect?
provide anything in writing, but she said she would be more than happy to provide a letter if it's necessary, so I can have her or contact her again and send a letter to the board.
It might be to your benefit to do that just for the record, so that if something arises in the future,
Okay.
we know what the community organization's views
Understood.
are on those things. Do you have anything else that you wanted to submit?
Yes, we also obtained signature petitions from the neighborhood patrons of the business.
Could you give them to Ms. Russell, please, and she'll mark them?
Received Exhibit 1.
Exhibit 1. And basically, it's neighborhood patrons who want to see the business continue, and they had no objections to the transfer of the.
Did you, you give us one or two exhibits?
Oh, I gave multiple copies of.
Oh, it's one exhibit,
Yeah, one
okay.
exhibit.
So they are neighborhood folks who are supporting the transfer.
That's correct, Mr.
Okay,
Chairman.
that would be received. Thank you. Anything further, Mr. Shin?
I do. I have Mr. Kim's valid and current alcohol awareness certificate.
Please give it to Ms. Russell.
Received Exhibit 2.
Yes.
Again, that's, I believe, 6 copies in there. So that's Exhibit 2.
And has there been a closing with respect to this license?
No, not yet.
When is that scheduled?
It's actually scheduled for next week on Monday or Tuesday.
Okay. And who's selling the license?
Mr. Cheng Park and the other licensee whose name is escaping me right now. It's JIMP Inc. That's the selling corporation.
Okay. And this is what, a liquor store?
Yes, this is Class A beer, wine, liquor, off-sale packaged goods store.
Okay. And is it open 7 days a week? What's the operation?
6 days a week, Mr. Chairman.
Not on Sunday?
Yeah, not on Sunday. They're closed on Sunday.
Okay. And what is Mr. Wynn's role in this?
Mr. Wynn's role, he is Mr. Kim and Mr. Wynn are corporate officers of Do Big Inc., and Mr. Wynn is the qualifying resident corporate officer of Do Big Inc. He has a 1% pecuniary interest in the corporation, and therefore he serves as a resident agent for
Are
the
you going to be
corporation.
working in the place as well, Mr. Nguyen? No, okay. Is Mr. Kim going to be on the premises?
Yes, he will be there full-time to operate the business.
Okay. Do the commissioners have questions?
What is Mr. Nguyen's experience in serving alcohol or running an establishment like this?
Mr. Nguyen does not have any experience. Mr. Kim has been working for local Baltimore City off-sale packaged liquor store. It's in 601 West Lexington Street. He's been there since 2003 as a manager, so he has 13 years of experience, and he has a valid alcohol awareness certificate, so he knows the rules and regulations, and he's prepared to abide by them.
Will he be working by himself in the store?
He may eventually get employees, but the plan right now is for him to operate the store solely.
And I don't mean to be indelicate or inappropriate in any way.
Okay.
I do wonder how the business will be operated, given an apparent language barrier. How will that be addressed? How will that be managed?
Yeah, absolutely, that's a valid concern. Mr. Kim, during those 13 years of working, he has moderate English skills, enough to obviously check for ID if it's a minor.
It's very important.
Yes,
Yeah.
he knows all the valid license ID types that he has to check, and he knows how to transact and perform customer service. The only reason why we provided the interpreter today is in case you guys have more complex questions regarding who knows what.
This is a
so.
very intimidating panel here.
Yeah, and I am aware that the
Okay.
board had recently changed, so I had no idea what kind of complicated questions may arise.
We're
so
just
that's why.
terrible.
I'd like to keep you on your toes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
keep you
so that's why I
guessing.
provided the interpreter just in case.
Okay, because he has done the alcohol awareness and training. He has a certificate. He knows when to card and
Absolutely.
ask for ID. He's nodding yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Are there any? What is the name of the establishment where he's been working for 13 years? Do you know
I believe
that?
it's called YNS Liquor. It's in 601 West Lexington Street.
Okay. During that time, are you aware of any problems that arose with his operation or,
Yeah.
or working at that establishment?
As we've disclosed in the application, Mr. Kim, back in July of 2008, did mistakenly serve alcohol to a minor. Ever since then, he has absolutely taken all precaution, and anybody looking under 50 years of age, he's been checking ID. And he knows to check their driver's license or military ID, passport, any government-issued state ID to make sure that the person is of age. So before July 2008 and after July 2008, there has been no incidences where he's been cited for such a violation. Other than that, I am not aware of any other issues.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Those are my questions.
Commissioner Moore's asked all the questions I had.
Okay. Mr. Kim, I know that your English may be somewhat limited. Is there anything you wanted to say to us?
미스터 킴이 영어에 지금 제한이 있다 할지라도 여기 커미셔너분들한테 얘기하고 싶은 게 있으십니까?
지난 그 13년 동안의 경험을 살려가지고 커뮤니티와 그다음에 커뮤니티의 안전 협조하고 그다음에 손님들의 안전을 위해서 앞으로 최선의 일을 다하겠습니다.
Depending on my 13 years of experience working at the liquor business, I would like to cooperate with the neighborhood residents and our customers to keep and maintain the safety of both of them.
Well, that's very important, so we appreciate that. Okay. If there's nothing further and the exhibits have been received in evidence, there's no opposition to the transfer of ownership. It appears that Mr. Kim is a suitable person. He's taken the necessary steps he needs to get support and also to obtain the certificate. Don't have any evidence of any adverse impact on the community, so I would vote to grant the transfer.
Okay. Everyone to do the exhibits?
I think
Did we
these
do
are in,
that?
aren't they,
Are these
Ms.
in?
Russell?
Okay.
Yes, they are.
I concur.
I concur and would also add, that I applaud you for your willingness to work with the community and for engaging the community before the hearing. I think that's critically important, so I concur as well.
그분도 동의를 하시는데 미스터 김께서 지역 사회랑 같이 보조를 맞춰서 그분들의 안전을 위해서 일하겠다 하신 거 아주 중요한 문제입니다.
명심을 앞으로 명심하겠습니다.
네, I will do my best to keep my words.
Best of luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can see you down here, sir.
Mr. Page?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Siprit Singh, Alicia Wines, Bedwall LLC, trade name pending, 1000 West Lombard Street. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license, an application to transfer ownership. All parties testifying, please come forward and raise your right hand.
Raise your right hands, friend.
First of all, counsel, will you identify yourself,
For the
please?
record, Melvin J. Kanensky, 19 East Fayette Street, representing the applicants.
Okay.
Raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Can you each state your name into the microphone, please, and spell it?
Yes. Good morning. My name is Sarbjit Singh, Sarbjit. Last name Singh, Singh.
My name is Alicia Wines, Wines. Wines with an S, like the drink.
It's a good name for someone to own a tavern. I would say. Okay. Ladies, Mr. Kadensky?
Yeah, this is a transfer of an existing location. It's been there for many, many, many years. It's a very small location, has maybe 10 or 12 bar stools at the very most and a couple tables. It's in the area. And I think, Mr. Page, is that Holland's Roundhouse on 1000 West Lombard Street?
That's correct, Mr. Kaninsky.
Yeah, so I thought so. That's in the association area. The gentleman that's in there wants to retire. Ms. Singh has taken the alcohol awareness course. I can give you a copy of her
Would you give it to Ms. Russell, please?
certificate. The hours of operation would normally be between 10, 11 o'clock till 2 on weekends. Earlier than that, they would close during the week. Ms. Singh has Ms. Wines as the city qualifier. Ms. Wines really has a lot of experience in the business. Is going to help her. Probably 20, 25 years she's been in various different locations. I'll let her explain. She's going to help her set the place up to help her to run it. And the same as the seller is going to stay on for a while. And then
And who is the seller?
Bill Doring.
I'm sorry.
Milton Doring.
Can you speak into the microphone, please?
Bill Doring. Well,
D-O-
Milton, I think is his real.
Milton Doring.
D-O-E-R-I-N-G? Okay. And how long has he been there?
1989.
Okay.
And his father 15 years before that.
Yeah, I think it's time for them. They want to move on.
Have you closed on this yet?
No.
No, well, soon we will if the board approves it. Basically, like I said, just a small place, no entertainment, no food, all prepackaged potato chips, and that's about it. This will be her employment. She previously was a registered nurse. She'll keep her in that. And
When you
work.
say you're pointing, who are you pointing to, Ms. Singh or Ms.?
Singh,
Yeah,
Ms.
okay.
Singh. And her husband, Ms. Singh's husband, actually is a cab driver, so he's going to help out also. And I had him qualified for alcohol awareness also.
Okay. Did you want to tell us anything, please?
Keep your name and address and where you work. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I had the Potomac Tavern at 35 North Potomac Street. I worked in Charlie Brown's Tavern in Rosedale, South Marlin Inn, Lexington, Virginia, the Palms Restaurant, which also served alcohol, and El Cafe, and McAdoo's.
Did you get rid of those W&L students out of the place down in Lexington?
I served a lot of WL.
At this point, I think I should interject that I went to law school at Washington and Lee.
Do you
Yes.
remember, you know the Palms?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. And I think McAdoo's, wasn't there?
It was called Spanky's then.
Totally Spanky's. I would go there almost every Friday. He set us on the wrong path.
Oh, okay. Well, I
No,
won't tell
wonderful
if you don't
restaurants.
tell.
Wonderful restaurants. Both.
Okay. And do we have any support or opposition from the community?
No opposition. I know that Mr. During has mentioned to the people in the neighborhood that he was retiring and going away. He wanted to be here, but he happened to have a pre-planned vacation on it. I told to Ms. Singh that she probably, and she should and will, touch base with Hollins Roundhouse and join and be a member of the community.
Okay. Any questions, commissioners?
Defer to
I only
Commissioner
had, maybe this is
Greenfield.
a question for staff. In our documents, I see this is not there's no use and occupancy issued. Is that because this is a pre-existing? So that was just an error?
That's correct, Commissioner. It's pre-existing.
Okay, so that, right. Okay. And you guys have been talking with the community, or they obviously know there's a new owner?
The seller has been talking to the
Okay, good.
community, but not.
I think when he comes back, he's going to try to have like a little get-together at the place and bring the people over, which I recommend, so they can, put eyes on who the people in the neighborhood are.
Okay. I have no questions, no further questions.
I just want to get clarity on who's going to actually be operating the location. Because Ms. Singh I think you said she's going to continue working as a nurse.
She has very flexible hours as a nurse, so she'll be there working, and Ms. Wines is going to...
I'll be there also.
Okay, so Ms. Wines, is it going to be your primary responsibility? And then
It's going to be my primary responsibility to make sure that she understands how to do it and continue to work in a as much as I'm needed, I'll be there. And also her husband, who is a cab driver, who has the alcohol awareness class as well.
Okay, what are the hours of the establishment?
About 10 or 11 till 2 on weekends and during the week, depending when there's any business, like like Mondays and Tuesdays when it's hot like it is. It's better to close the door at 12 o'clock rather than burn electricity.
So just to get clarity, those are long hours. Who is going to be in the business operating it? You got two owners, both have full-time jobs, and...
Between the two of them and her husband.
There's three of us. I mean...
Well, the two owners, right?
Right, and her husband.
Or three. You're the... Yeah. So can you just tell us what the plan is? Because you have to have a plan, right?
Commissioner, may I? So
Please.
I'm a registered nurse. My hours are PRN as needed. So I make up my own hours. It's very flexible. I have talked to my own managers as well, so everybody is aware that I'm opening up. I will be opening up this business. So I'm getting a lot of support from where I work, so I can go from full-time mode to a PRN person, which means that I can devote my time towards this a lot more. And then, of course, as I have, when Alicia comes or my husband comes, I can do a couple hours. That way, I'm still in my nursing field as well, because I really do like that as well.
Sure.
And I do commercial real estate, so I don't work on the weekends much at the other.
Okay. Okay. So the reason I'm asking is I know that there's not going to be any problems. Nothing is ever going to go wrong. There's never going to be a challenge with this site. I'm sure of it. But if there is, the community always wants to know who's responsible. And so we ask who is responsible. And what I'm hearing is it will be all three of you. And you will work together to make sure that all those hours are covered and one of you is
Small,
there.
You really only need one person there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I hear you.
All right. Based on the information that's been provided this morning, the evidence that's been received along with the application and other documents and the proffers that have been made about how the business will be operated and the fact that there's no opposition from anyone to it or any evidence of any adverse impact on the community, I would vote to approve the transfer.
I concur.
I concur.
Thank you and good luck.
I loved Spanky's. That was a great place. It was a lot of fun. And the
My
Palms.
stepson works at W&L. He's
Oh, really?
the ground. I mean, keeps the buildings running. He's the
Oh,
guy that
sure.
they call he's the supervisor of the work team.
It's a beautiful campus.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Have you
yeah.
been back?
I have.
It's way bigger than it used to be.
Oh, I know. I went back. I go back every other year or so. And, yeah,
And I
got
went
lost.
to the Harvard at South, University of Baltimore.
We'll talk to our friends at Vanderbilt about that.
Okay. Mr. Page.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Charles Jurdy, Kerry Portals, and John Burke. Wicked Sisters LLC, trading as Wicked Sisters, 3845 Falls Road. This is a Class B, an application for a new Class B restaurant license under the provisions of alcoholic beverage article requiring $500,000 in capital investment in restaurant fixtures and facilities and seating capacity for a minimum of 125 persons. The request is for off-premises catering as well. All parties testifying, please come forward and raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
First of all, counsel,
Thank you. Good morning. Stephen W. Fogelman on behalf of applicants.
and can I have both of the gentlemen state their name and spell it into the microphone?
Charlie Jerde, Charlie with an IE at the end, and Jerde, Gjerde.
John Burke, Burke.
Good morning.
Good morning. We're here on a new Class B restaurant application, and since we're getting close to lunch, I'm going to tell you about a modern-day casual steakhouse with 130 seats and over $900,000 in investment. Ms. Podles is also an applicant. She was not able to be here because she had a prepaid vacation to San Francisco with her family. However, just to let the board know, she has already been vetted on restaurant application in the past. So she, in fact, twice. So she has been previously found to be a fit and proper person to hold a liquor license in Baltimore City, and indeed, she already does. So we're here today about Wicked Sisters Tavern, 3845 Falls Road, former McCabe's spot. Mr. Jerde has been involved in many restaurants in the past. Currently, he runs Poppy's Tacos in Fells Point, which is very popular within that community. And he also runs Alexander's Tavern, which is a fine casual restaurant on Broadway in the same community. Both of those also have $500,000 capital investment, 125 seats as well. You'll find, let me get the most important stuff out of the way first. I only have one signed original memorandum of understanding that I want to present to you today, signed by licensee Jerde, also signed by Shannon Dawkins-Wren, the president of the Hamden Community Council, and Ben Ray, the president of the Hamden Village Merchants Association. So I'd like to...
Give that to Ms.
You
Russell.
got it.
Received at Exhibit 1.
Thank you. All right, next, I would like to give the board a small informational packet, one for each of you and one for the file.
First, Ms. Russell.
Received Exhibit 2.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, therein you'll see an introductory statement about the space, the menu, the team, parking situation, the neighborhood. There's also a menu that will follow and a floor plan showing both floors that will be used for the public for business, and 62 seats on the first floor, 68 seats on the 68 seats on the first floor, 62 on the second floor. No bar stool seats or anything like that is being
McCabe's
considered.
have a second floor?
No,
I didn't think so.
No. It was filled with boxes and boxes and boxes of papers to the ceiling.
After the floor plan, you'll see a projected budget of approximately $925,000. After that, you'll see a more detailed budget showing $930,000, and that's the second to last page, the last page of this document, $930,000, $693,917.71 already spent.
How much already spent?
$693,917.71. And in the interest of saving trees, I only made one copy of this for the board. It is the complete breakdown of the expenses, receipts, canceled checks, etc. So for the file,
To Ms. Russell, please.
you got it.
Received Exhibit 3.
All right, and if you have any questions for the applicants at this time, that'd be great.
Who are these Wicked Sisters?
My wife, who's back there, and Carrie, who is in San Francisco.
Oh, so
They really are
not a
sisters.
recent picture?
That is actually his own daughter's picture. So
No, that's them.
no, that's really them.
That's them.
When they were young.
Oh, my
yeah.
God.
Okay.
Yeah, it's funny.
And the crab cakes will be as good as they were at McCabe's, or
I
better?
hope so.
Okay.
We've heard a lot about the burgers and the crab cakes. We didn't know it was such a stalwart place that we need to
It was
step
a
up.
very popular place for a long time.
Yes.
Okay, and this is going to be a 7-day-a-week operation? It is, okay. And you're, Mr. Jurdy, are you going to be the primary person?
Carrie Pottles and I will be the day-to-day operators of the business.
Okay. And you've made a tremendous investment in it. When is it going to open?
Hopefully October, end of September, beginning of October.
Okay. Do the commissioners have questions?
I guess.
Go
I'll
ahead.
start.
Yeah,
Did I-
sure.
Mr. Burke, Mr. Jurdy, you guys are obviously restaurateurs. You've been in the business. Any violations in any of your other locations we should be aware of?
No, I've been a licensee since 1991. I've been on 8 licenses and never had a violation. And the 2 that we currently have are clean as a whistle, I hope, as far as I know.
And under this MOI, you've agreed to certain limitations and whatever to satisfy the community?
Yes.
Okay. Hours of operation, karaoke, and that sort of thing?
Right, yeah, we don't plan on any live entertainment, so that was the big one.
Okay.
They are, however, just so you know, when you see us again, you'll know what we're doing. I believe McCabe's never had outdoor tables, isn't that right?
That's correct.
So they did. This original application, or the original application was for outdoor tables. Then we found out that they weren't zoned for that. So we pulled that part of the request back for the hearing. And in the winter, they'll go to zoning and get their outdoor table approval. So you'll see us probably still be cold when you see us next year. So we get ready for those outdoor tables. Thank you very much.
So you would have outdoor tables on Falls Road?
No, on the back, in the rear.
I was going to say, because there's...
Yeah, no. No, we're going to focus.
I will definitely run over people when I leave McDonald's.
Yeah, it's pretty tight
It's
there.
very tight.
For sure.
Very tight.
Now I've opened a can of worms. So.
Okay. So if there's nothing further on the basis of the documents that have been submitted, substantial documentation, the application, the testimony this morning, I would find that it meets the criteria for the new Class B license. It looks like there's been general agreement in the community under certain limitations that everybody's signed off on. So I would approve the new license and wish you the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Commissioners.
Well, the others.
I just thought of something. The seating, you have confirmed, and we have confirmed or will confirm that the seating capacity will be met or is met.
Oh, yeah, it'll be at least what it is on those
And-
documents.
Okay, all right. In that case, I support, although I got to say, these young ladies do not look wicked at all, and nor does she. I think it's a misnomer, but
I've known her for 15 years.
You win. You say she's wicked. She is. You'll talk about that later.
I concur with my colleagues, and also just would underscore, thank you for working with the community on this, and also thank you for your investment. It's a significant investment, and I think it's important to note that.
Certainly, thank you.
Yeah, glad the place is going to be back in operation. We'll look forward to seeing you.
Yeah,
Great.
one of my
Thank
husband's,
you.
one of my favorite dates was at McCabe's, and
All right.
we still talk about those crab cakes. So
Pressure's on.
Thanks again.
lots.
I used to go to Spanky's in Harrisonburg when I went to college there.
Was
They're big down
were they
south.
related?
Yes.
Oh my God.
They were owned by the same people. Yeah.
I did not know that. Oh my gosh. All righty.
We have a couple more, right?
I think we have one more, or one.
One more.
One more.
Oh, this works. This is working out so much better.
Say their names into the record, then I'll read the doc.
Sure.
Okay? Is that
Are you okay?
Yeah,
Want me to have
and
them
I have the licensees' names if you didn't want to skip that part.
Once the case is called, Mr. Hurdle.
Read them first, I'm sorry.
He's gonna call and.
I'm ready.
Mr. Chairman, if the applicants can just say their name into the record, then I'll read the language after the names.
Okay.
Please. Sure.
McDamayella,
Hold on. What was that? Macdim Aliella.
McDamayella, MEKDIM. Last,
Is your last name?
yes, sir.
Okay, it was on the docket wrong as well. Go ahead.
Anania Fanton. My first name is Anania, Anania. Last name is Fanton, Fantahun.
All right, next.
Nebiyu Siyum. First name Nebiyu, Nebiyu Siyum, Seyoum.
This is for Annex LLC, trading as Annex Lounge, 1818 Maryland Avenue. This is a Class B beer, wine, and liquor license. an application for a new Class B marijuana restaurant license under the provisions of Rule 2.08, requiring $200,000 in capital investment in restaurant fixtures and facilities and seating capacity for a minimum of 75 people. The request is for live entertainment, outdoor table service, off-premise catering, and delivery of alcoholic beverages. Please come forward and raise your right hands.
Do you raise your right hand too? Swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? He's gonna have to spell his name. I know it's tricky.
Alan Minarchik, Vice President of the Charles North Community Association. First name is A-L-A-N. That's the easy part. Last name is M-L-I-N-A-R-C-H-I-K.
Okay, counsel, you want to identify yourself, please?
Abraham Hurdle on behalf of the applicants, Onyx Lounge, trading as Annex, and it's, Onyx LLC, trading as Annex Restaurant at 1818 Maryland Avenue. We do have agreements. I think we have a signed copy, an original, as well as a letter of support, as well as copies of the MOU.
Please give them to Ms. Russell.
Thank you.
Did you want to see the
The original.
She has it.
Thank you.
Received as Exhibit 1 and 2.
Thank you.
Yes.
I have mine stapled, so I don't want to do it one or two or all together. The gentlemen with me have over 20 years of experience in the hospitality industry, in the neighborhood of 13 or 14 years, I believe, in the restaurant business alone, in terms of alcohol service and things of that nature. At other businesses, a couple of years, but in terms of alcohol service, 12 plus years. I do have build-out costs for the proposed construction, and their proposed build-out prices that will likely go up.
Can you give that to Ms. Russell, please?
Absolutely. Here's a copy, Ms. Russell. And again, I have duplicates as well.
Received as Exhibit number 3.
Yes. So I see that it's budgeted to go over the $200,000.
And they've already spent over $200,000 in the building, and there's been some improvements already that are not documented yet. And of course, they'll get everything to the board before they try to pick up the license in terms of receipts and actual costs.
And it will seat 75 people?
The seating diagram that we have is in excess of 86 people, and that's purely indoor seating. I anticipate there will be a few seats outside on the back. And when Minor Privilege approves the tables out front, we will go with their recommendation. Outdoor table service, as well as live entertainment, are a matter of right in this property. We did work extensively, well, I'd like to say extensively with the community, but the community was wonderfully helpful in sitting down with us and coming to an agreement. It's not often that I would say this, but they were very, very easy to work with. I would commend them as being, very easy to deal with. In a lot of
What's
ways.
anticipated in terms of the entertainment?
It's going to be a DJ on occasion, sometimes jazz music, band. Everything's going to be inside in terms of live entertainment. The doors and windows will all be closed when that occurs. There are, I believe, hours restrictions for live entertainment, and of course, they're going to follow all noise ordinances. Something that I guess they're going to do that I'm not sure if it's on the MOU. We were concerned about if it should be required. They are going to take part in active community meetings and try to be an active member in that situation. I think that the best way to avoid any sort of concerns and complaints is to kind of be very proactive about it. And we actually spoke with the community today about the MOU and said, look, if there's issues at any point going forward, this is obviously the written document, but we're happy to work with you for any sort of corrections or changes that need to be made if things are not working or if they are working and we can do better. They're going to have security on nights that there's live entertainment. They're going to do an active job patrolling the street in front of the area. They're going to have valet parking. They've already arranged for the parking lot across the street to be used. They're going to have lights out front, out back, cameras all around the building, as well as the inside that will comply with any police officer requests for that security footage. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the 1800 block of Maryland Avenue. It's just kind of not a lot going on there this time of evening. So this should bring a little bit of...
Is this down closer to University of Baltimore?
Or is this closer to Charles Theater?
This is on the back side of so on Maryland Avenue,
That's
pretty
Maryland.
much the
Yes.
block up from the Charles Theater. It's
Before you get
just
to that
above Lafayette
bridge
Avenue.
that goes
Lafayette Street.
over towards
Absolutely.
UB.
So you're in the area by the pizza place.
Bottega.
Joe Square.
And in fact, Because
and
of,
Nancy and
block up from both
Snack.
Excuse me.
A block.
Just one at a time makes it a lot easier for the transcript.
So you're near Joe Squared, you're near Snack, Nancy, that area. Are you south of Joe Squared or north?
South of Joe Squared, north of Bottega.
South of
Either a
Joe
block,
Okay.
block and a half from Bottega up.
You may remember some time ago, this was the former location of Club Envy, and they in fact forfeited a license under a previous hearing, a BD7 license, and we're real happy to see that the restaurant license
Are
is
you?
coming in. We are.
Okay.
So you have no reservations what's in your agreement?
I only have one question. Well, the one issue is we do support the minor privilege for outdoor table services as long as there is sufficient space on the sidewalk there, and zoning will deal with that. BMZA will deal with that issue.
We're not yet ready to approve outdoor seating. Is that right?
No, well, we've had discussions about outdoor table seaters. Right now,
Wait, are you applying for outdoor seating
absolutely,
today?
we've applied for everything today.
How do we, I'm just looking, how do we approve outdoor seating if zoning hasn't?
Zoning has.
Well,
Well,
authorized it?
I
Or
think it's an
zoning has
inaccurate way of
said you-
describing it. We've applied for it. It's a matter of right in this area. We have an application for it. We just have to get the final permit. So we have to
Can
get
we
an
approve it
occupancy permit, and we
subject to
have it.
the zoning board's approval?
It's not like an approval. It isn't required for a hearing or anything. This is a matter of right in this area. I think Mr. Akris verified that with Mr. Veal. There will be an issue that will come up with the minor privilege. If the minor privilege decides the sidewalk is too narrow, we would of course not put tables out front. There is a table area in the back, entirely fenced, only for emergency egress would be the only way out of that area. There'd be no one coming in back there. And we are asking for seating out there as well.
Okay, I'll
Do you have
defer.
something?
So
Please.
this is located in the B52 zoning district, which is a permitted use. We will not add outdoor seating until they bring the correct or the final version of the occupancy permit issued by zoning.
Correct.
It's currently pending before zoning.
Yeah, but it's not a hearing or anything. I want to be clear.
There's no
I
hearing
apologize.
required.
There's no
but it's
hearing, yeah.
pending.
You're not going to get it from us today?
Right.
No, correct.
Okay, you understand
No,
that.
we would have,
Okay.
and we're not going to get a license today either. We have to have a final
You're
zoning
not going
inspection.
to, you're not going to get, can we even approve it today if zoning hasn't done what they need to do procedurally? I don't want to do it in the wrong order, because since we've been convening as a group, we've required zoning to take action before we take action on outdoor seating, and I want to stay consistent with that, unless there's a reason not to, a lawful legal reason not to. Yes, please.
Thomas Akris with the Liquor Board. So this is in a B52 zoning district, and it's a permitted use. So unlike other districts where it's a non-conforming use, where you have to go before the BMZA to get approval, as you had heard in the De Pasquale's case, that's not the situation here. Essentially, the applicant, as long as they provide the proper documentation to zoning, get approved for outdoor table service. So in this case, the applicant is coming before the board because they are permitted by right to get outdoor table service. Zoning will have to sign off on exactly what the tables are going to be, and if it's 4 tables, 2 top, or whatever it's going to be, zoning will make that final decision. There's no need to go before the BMZA, so we don't get a letter or a resolution like we would normally for non-conforming use. So the issue, essentially, the issue before the board is whether or not you would grant the outdoor table service, which is contingent upon zoning stating this is exactly what your outdoor table service is going to be. They don't control that. That's all made, that's a decision made by zoning.
I guess my question is, and I don't understand why we don't have zoning do that, and then have that clarity of what's permitted, and it really should be in the MOU, and then this board takes its action.
If I may, I apologize. It's exactly as Mr. Akris described. So if you go down to the board.
I know what he's saying. I'm totally understanding what he's saying. I'm talking about procedure and steps and having the exact approval of exactly what this is going to be. Is it 2 table? Is it 1 table? Is it 4? And this is for out front, right?
And I was actually trying to get to that. I apologize.
Okay.
Zoning does and doesn't do that. The actual decision as to how many tables, if you do go before the zoning board, will be decided at that time. Planning will make a recommendation for two tops, two tops, something of that nature. When you go to the zoning office and apply for a permit as a matter of right, they approve outdoor table service. As with any outdoor table service use, whether by the board's conditional use or some other non-conforming, or even in this case, by right, we have to get a minor privilege permit, right? Minor privilege will ask us for all kinds of plans for outdoor tables, and they will determine whether it's feasible or not feasible based on sidewalk widths, handicap access, trees planted in the area, distance from the front door, things of that nature. And then they will make a decision for us, without our input, to say, you can put 2-3 tops or, whatever it is out front. And if it fits, at this point, we have no plans to put probably more than 4 2-tops out front. The sidewalk is not super duper wide there.
Right.
The building doesn't have, 50 feet of frontage. It's probably not that wide. So it isn't a situation where we're gonna have, an area all cordoned off, like you might see on Water Street. It's gonna be a handful of tables, a handful of individuals out front. And they're gonna be required to be seated, to be served alcohol. They must order food to get alcohol out front.
And if I just may just add one more thing, there was a similar application before the board, David and Dad's, which is located or going to be located on Charles and Lexington, and they were also, I believe, they asked for for outdoor table service in that application, and that's zoned by right because of the particular zoning district. So just giving an example to the board.
Are we permitted, Mr. Akers, to approve outdoor table pending approval by or contingent upon approval from minor privilege in the zoning office?
Previous boards have done that.
They need to obtain a permit. That's not approval.
I don't care what previous boards have done. I want to be consistent with what this board has done and with what is required. That's all I care about.
Well, as I was bringing up the David and Dad's example, that was a request for outdoor
But
table
didn't
service.
they already have the approval from zoning?
It was permitted when we reviewed the application, it was permitted by right. And that's the information that we had provided to the board. They had not yet gotten their minor privileges permit because their build-out hadn't been completed yet.
They're still knocking stuff down over there. They're gonna have, they may get a occupancy permit in the next couple of months would be my guess. And then they would have to get minor privilege, and that would say, based on the sidewalk widths, right now the sidewalks are completely taken over by construction equipment. At some point it would.
Okay. Anything further? Mr. Hurdle, have your clients consented to having the memorandum of understanding become a part of the license?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. So if it's granted, it would be subject to that.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask one other question? Because I said earlier there were two issues that I had in my head.
Yes.
I learn something new every time I come here. I was unaware of the provisions for delivery of alcohol with food as a part of a Class B license. And in searching the code, I couldn't find anything, and I was just, didn't want to set any precedent here. Is that, granted as part of a Class B license, just so I know for the future?
Do you know, Mr. Page?
Thomas Akers. There in the rules and regulations that were drafted and also in the Alcoholic Beverages Act, it allows for delivery services. If the Class B is going to be providing, or this particular Class B is going to be providing delivery services, there's documentation that needs to be provided to the board, an application needs to be made, and then whenever delivery is going to be performed, there are going to be some also additional documents that are going to have to be filled out each time a delivery is completed. We do have a process. It's in the rules and regulations. It's allowed by state law.
Can we make sure that Mr. Allen?
First
Mr.
name basis
Menarche.
with the board.
I can get him a copy of the rules and regulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
no
it.
problem.
Does anyone else have anything further? Okay, based on the application, the evidence that's been presented this morning, and in particular the memorandum of understanding with Charles North Community Association, that being made a part of the license requirement, and the other evidence that's been presented this morning, I would approve the new Class B license, of course, subject to the permit that will be granted with respect to outdoor seating.
I concur, and again, thank you for working with the community. Thank you for your investment.
Can I make one question real quick. Just
Commissioner Moore hasn't.
You might want to hear what I have to say. I concur with the granting of the license. I do not concur with authorization for outdoor table service for the questions and reasons that I've already stated and won't restate.
The only one concern I had with regards to the permit is they're allowed to use the outdoor area in the back that's fenced in without minor privilege. And we would request that that be, I guess, granted without that permit.
Well, I just, yes, I mean, I only meant to the extent that you're limited by the permit, you have to abide by the permit.
I just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And I think we're recessed until 1.
Recess until 1, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Mr. Karasik, good morning. How are you? Good. It's good to see you. Are you here just to observe? Oh, goodness.
We ready, Mr. Page?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The 1 o'clock docket, Mr. Jose Bonas, K&D Restaurant, Inc., trading as K&D Restaurant, 3706 through 08 Eastern Avenue. This is a Class B beer wine and liquor license here for violation of Rule 4.08A, relations with wholesalers on March the 11th, 2016. Please come forward and raise your right hand.
Hands, guys.
Gentlemen.
Do you swear or affirm that testimony you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
For the record, Melvin J. Kanensky, 19 East Fayette Street, representing the licensee. This is going to be an admission. I've
Okay.
talked with the inspector.
Do we need their names on the record?
I have them.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes, Mr. Kaninsky. Go ahead.
This will be an admission. I've talked with the inspector. This is, as Mr. Greenfield, like when I said that people gets a case of the shorts. A lot of times they run out of a product and they can't order whole half cases, so they go out and they buy a bottle here and there. Talk with the inspector. They still had the stickers on the bottle. It wasn't like there was any subterfuge here. They were polite and cooperative, and there's a case of like 4 bottles. It wasn't like case upon case. I explained to the licensee, he can't, whatever it is, if he runs short, he's gonna just have to buy more and get it from the wholesaler and buy from the beverage book.
Okay. Do we have everything we need in the record?
Yes. I think one correction is in order, though. Don't you think? There were 4 bottles, 3 of which had stickers, and 1 sticker had been removed.
Yeah, but I think he admitted that was right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got the pictures here, and for some reason, they're not in color, but I'll reset them.
Because they're not in color, because they're black and white.
Want to see them in color?
Yes.
Chair-
Ms. Russell.
Chairman, we have as Exhibit 1, Incident Report from Comptroller of Maryland. Exhibit number 2, photos.
Okay. Thank you. They'll be received. Did you want to introduce anything, Mr. Kaninsky?
No, I think the pictures you have, will admit that it happened, and like, I explained that it's not something that it's been an occurrence with this licensee. And the problem with the economy, when they run short, they're working from day to day, and that's the way, and I talked with the inspector. It's the way the law is written, it's the law is the law. That's it.
So, is it Bolnes? Is I saying that correctly?
Yeah.
You've had this license for about 5 years?
Yeah.
Okay. And no prior violation, is that correct?
Yeah, no.
And
First time now,
you understand the problem?
yeah. Yeah, I know, yeah.
Okay. Do the commissioners have any questions?
I don't.
Okay. Then, on the basis of the admission and the evidence that's been introduced, I would find a violation of Rule 4.08 small a, and I would impose a fine of $200, no suspension, and of course, there's a $125 administrative fee.
So that's $325 total.
Okay.
You said you have a check with you.
Yeah, I
Do
have
you
a
want to do
check
that now?
You might want to wait.
Well, let's hear what the other commissioners have to say.
I was thinking of a much, much higher fine. I concur with the chairman.
I concur as well.
Okay, I will give him 3 days to pay, but he can pay now. It's just, I have to say on the record, okay?
Yeah, I told him bring a check.
Okay, thank you, and let's not see you again.
Thank you.
Okay. Yep.
See Stacy.
Pull it up.
Yeah, she'll take care of you, okay?
So he paid today.
Call the case of Sierra Dennison and Vincent Griffin, GM Holdings, Inc., trading as Lust, 408 East Baltimore Street. This is a Class BD7 Beer 1 liquor license and adult entertainment license. Here for violation of Alcoholic Beverage Rule 3.09A, restroom facilities and health regulations on February the 25th, 2016. Violation of Alcoholic Beverage Rule 4.16, illegal conduct on July the 20th, 2016. Violation of Adult Entertainment Rule 3.11A, restroom facilities and health regulations on February the 25th, 2016. Violation of Adult Entertainment Rule 3.18, illegal conduct and codes compliance on July the 20th, 2016. All parties testifying, please come forward and raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Are you Ms. Dennison? Okay, Mr. Kadensky?
For the record, Mel Machakinsky, 19 East Fayette Street. We'll do an admission on this also.
For the two incidents, what's the status of the corporation at this point?
I'm going to, first of all, I think that the two more duplicitous there when you look at
I
this.
see,
Okay,
I
all right,
see that
just
they're
wanna-
redundant.
Other than that, the situation with the, and we're trying to straighten this out right now, is that there's a sales tax liability of a lot. And I've been talking with Ed, this Polish boy, what's his name, Wysinski or something, he's in compliance. And we're trying to work this out, so there's a transfer going to be pending from basically the landlord's secure party to another party, and they'll agree, hopefully, to be able to waive so they can get a new sales tax, new traders. That's probably going to take about 60 days to get through compliance.
Sorry, can you slow down for just a minute? The GM Holding, Inc. is going to transfer what?
Transfer of both licenses.
So that's an application that'll be coming before us?
Correct. It's actually filled out, and we just have, there's one step we're missing to transfer to the secure party, which was the landlord, and then to this new group. The controller in the past, and they're not committing on this, has agreed to waive the sales taxes to transfer the license and let the liability attached to the officer. So that's where we are. I've had discussions with them. I got one done the other day. This one is pending.
Is this place in operation today?
Yes, well, just with the adult entertainment.
Okay, meaning that what's not in operation?
The liquor license.
Oh, okay. And what's the story with the health regulations?
They were not cited by the health department, but what your inspector saw was correct. What they did, they've corrected that, and now they have somebody inspect hourly each one of the restrooms to make sure this condition will not go forward on it. It's one of those kind, if you got a place when they're busy, and if you don't go in there like every hour, things get out of hand. I can tell you that from my own experience. So I tell them, go in there, have somebody, ladies go in the ladies' room, men go to the men's room, make sure everything's okay, and then clean it up.
Okay. Did you want to offer anything?
Other than that's basically what we're trying to do with this case here, trying to get the application in. We brought a partial application down. We have to make some corrections in it, then I can follow up with the controller's office and let them know it's been filed.
Okay. And Mr. Foster, did you want to add anything?
No, Chairman.
Okay. You did find that the bathrooms were in compliance after they were cleaned?
After they were cleaned, yes, sir.
Okay. So I have a question for you, Mr. Akris. Given the status of the corporation, what's the status of the license?
Well, the
at the time when I checked on July 20th, the corporation was forfeited. If they're doing business now, either as an adult entertainment facility or, you know, serving alcoholic beverages, which they can't, then they'd be in violation of Maryland state law. I don't know, and I don't know this at this time, Your Honor, if they've corrected that matter in terms of their corporation.
Well, it sounds like they haven't because they have this sales tax liability that's over their
That's
heads.
correct. Sales and admissions, yes.
Yes. So they need to be closed down, is that what you're saying?
Under Maryland law, they really can't be operating as a business if their corporate standing has been forfeited.
Okay.
When was the? Oh, I apologize.
Go ahead.
When was the liquor license last used?
April 30th.
Of 2016.
It's been renewed, but it can't be picked up because of the sales tax
Okay.
liability. In the past, how it was handled by other boards, I shouldn't say we, is that they would give a specified period to them to correct this, say 60 days to correct this, or else, you got to shut down. I'm just making as a suggestion because the only employees they have now are the dancers, and they don't have any alcoholic beverages.
Dancing and Kool-Aid sounds good.
Like everybody dancing.
Yeah. Okay, I guess I asked it because I just didn't see in our records that they're not open and operating. Well, they're not serving alcohol. They're not serving alcohol.
Right, correct.
Okay.
We got Wagon Wheels that way. Miss Effie, she's been operating for 50 years, no liquor license.
But I thought Mr. Ackroyd said that you can't be operating.
If you can and you can't. If you give some leeway, you can. The question is whether you're doing it within the parameters of the law, but I'll leave that up to the board to make the decision, not me.
If I may.
Yes.
Under the business article, it's a misdemeanor to operate with a forfeited corporate status.
Yeah,
That's why it's charged as illegal conduct.
I understand. So, Mr. Konensky, so I understand your question, or your point is your client admits to these violations, but you're seeking some kind of approval or a window of time by which they can address the forfeiture issue.
About 60 days. The misdemeanor part is a criminal case that
Sure.
it's not pending
Right.
at this point. And generally, even in those cases, if they do it, they give them a period of time to correct it. Similarly, in the past, it's been done that way. Say, listen, you got 60 days to straighten this up or else, you're out.
Has that been your experience?
No, but I have another question. Back in February, there was a fine imposed, $2,325. Has that been paid?
That I do not know. I didn't represent them then.
Do we know if that fine has been paid? And there was also one in October 2015. Just curious as to whether those fines have been paid.
They weren't my client then, so I'm not.
Right. While she's looking, may I ask?
23-25, commissioner was paid
Okay.
on March the 15th, 2016.
Okay. And may I ask, Ms. Dennison, how old are you?
26.
26?
How long have you been working at? 6 years in the same place?
Almost 7, yeah.
Yeah.
So you started at age 19 working at Lust? Okay. And you know the trade name has also been forfeited? That was not renewed?
All that we're going to try.
All that relates to
we're trying
the...
to change it, it's not easy.
Okay. And how long has Ms. Dennison been on the license?
I think 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
You want to go first on this one, Commissioner Moore?
No, I do not. I kind of feel like there's not a lot of options that we have.
No, I don't think so. Well, based on the admissions and the evidence that's in the record, I would find a violation of Rule 3.09, small a, the health regulations relating to the restroom facilities, and a violation of Rule 4.16, the illegal conduct, on July 20, because they're charter was forfeited by the State Department of Assessments and Taxation. I'm not going to find violations of the remaining rules because I do think they're redundant. I would impose a fine for the 2 violations of $1,000 plus the $125. And I would suspend the license for 60 days. As long as that doesn't impair your ability to make the transfer.
Do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. No, I concur with the chairman with respect to violation of Rule 3.09, violation of Rule 4.16 specifically. Yeah, I think we have no alternative but to suspend the license given the forfeiture of the charter. If 60 days is enough time, or 60 days, if, as the chairman said, this suspension doesn't inhibit, preclude, this issue of the sales tax repay, then I think that's the right approach.
Yeah, I concur. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is, and I agree with the finding of liability or responsibility for 3.09A and 4.16. I agree with the finding of not responsible for 3.11A and 3.18, and I concur with the imposition of the fine and the closing
I give them
or
30
suspension.
days to make the payment.
They're not going to be open to pay it. I mean, so if you don't pay in 30 days, they're already closed anyhow, so you're not, I'm trying to.
So you want the 60 days? Is that what you're saying? No. I'm going to stay with the 30. That's fine.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
are we suspending both the adult entertainment and the liquor license
Yes.
as well?
They don't have the liquor license.
But in the event that you were to pay for it, we would not be able to release it.
Yeah.
For the record.
So for clarity's sake, both the adult entertainment license and the liquor license are suspended for 60 days. The fine, I don't recall what the fine was.
$1,000.
The $1,000 fine plus the $125 administrative fee payable within 30 days, and you all figure out, how you.
The only thing I would point out, not to be, is that there's no violation of the liquor rule here, for the record.
Understood.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can Chairman like to?
Well, wait, I think that we should be.
One second, I clicked off the record.
Oh,
because I
sorry.
Just didn't want to miss anything, sorry.
What is AB?
If I may address the board? So the way it was charged, I charged
Oh,
both
it
the
was
liquor license, which is the alcoholic beverages license, AB, and AE, which is the adult entertainment license. So to suspend either or, you need to find for conviction in the alcoholic beverage, AB, and the AE, adult entertainment. That's why it's charged in that manner.
So we found responsibility for violation of 3.09A, which is the alcoholic beverage rule.
Yes.
We also found responsibility for violation of 4.16, which is the alcoholic beverage. Is that how we did that?
Yes, correct.
Yes.
But we didn't
Right.
find violations of the adult entertainment license rule, so I guess we can't suspend that license.
Unless we review, reconsider. Right, I see
You
what
said
you.
it the other way around.
Did I?
No, he did.
No, yeah, but I'm saying, that's the reason I was pointing that out.
We found 3.09 and we found 4.16. So I think I would like to change. Because we found duplication because it's the same charge, the same set of facts, but different code section, essentially. And by merging them, which I don't think we should do, given that there's an adult entertainment license and an alcoholic beverage license, I personally feel that there should be a finding that relates to adult entertainment and a finding that relates to the Alcoholic Beverage Act. they're separate. They're separate codes, the same set of facts, but separate code violations, all four of which are violated.
My problem is, once you made a finding, now you're going back, and you can do a modification if it was requested for a lesser penalty, but you're going back doing a bigger penalty, just for the record.
Right, and I'm sure you're going to appeal no matter what. So I think I would rather have you appeal everything and have the full record. And we haven't concluded our hearing. We're still open.
Once you make your decision,
That's a
okay,
legal
I'll just
issue.
leave it go at that.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to change my concurrence with the chair in finding no violation of the adult entertainment. I will admit to being confused, but clearly there is a clear violation of the adult entertainment sections, and it's both Rule 3.11a and Rule 3.18 illegal conduct. So, and I would still impose the 60-day closure for all of the violations and the $1,000 fine and the $125 administrative fee.
Now that there's been some clarification, I too agree with Commissioner Moore and find the establishment in violation of Rule 3.09 of the alcohol beverages article, Rule 4.16 of the alcohol beverages article, and Rule 3.11 of the adult entertainment article, or provisions in Rule 3.18 of the alcohol or adult entertainment rule of the provisions, and to agree with the fine that Commissioner Moore has laid out.
Okay, I'm going to stay with my original determination, so it'll be 2-1 with respect to the AE rules.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Piece of paper, let me check.
Janina Ramos, La Rumba LLC, trading as La Rumba, 1650-54 East Pratt Street. This is a Class BD7 marijuana liquor license. Here for violation of Rule 3.12, general welfare, on July the 10th, 2016. All interested parties testifying, please come forward and raise your right hand.
Raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear,
One second.
do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Will you please, each of you, approach the microphone and state your name?
My name is Nicolas Ramos, manager and owner of the La Rumba.
Jose Enrique Rivadeneira. I'm a friend of Mr. Ramos. I'm also a resident of Upper Fells Point and president of the Hispanic Business Association.
Thank you.
Officer Patrick Zelno, Baltimore City Police, Southeast District.
Is it Zelno?
Yes, sir.
Spell it for me.
Zelno.
Thank you.
Tracy Anderson, president of Fells Prospect and resident in the area.
Okay. So, Mr. Ramos, you've been charged with a violation of Rule 3.12, general welfare, with respect to a fight that occurred on the premises on July 10th, where broken glass bottle and someone was cut severely. What would you like to tell us about that?
This is an incident that happened outside in La Rumba and the street. Usually the people drinking in the step. I call the police many times and I tell the people to move it and they just cross the street to one to the other one. My security not let the people to come in. This night we telling the guys to not coming to my establishment, to La Rumba, And then I was inside and I was checking to make sure it's okay. After all the many problems that we have, we try to keep the music low. We try to keep the place clean. We try to do everything we told before. And this is something that happened in the street many times. The other day, and was a lady pulled outside at 2 o'clock in the morning when that was closed and was outside in the corner of Broadway and Pratt. And 3 people tried to take the telephone and the money and everything. So we was outside and helping the people and called the police. And I called the police many times, and the police come into my place all the time. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they come in, checking, I have secure, I there, and I do exactly what I'm supposed to do. And I'm happy to go to a meeting with the association, and we like to have, if they can come to our meeting to work together in the community. But we have a big problem in the outside and Broadway and corridor. It's not only my place, it's many of the business we really was affected about too many people in the street do drug, prostitution, drink in the street, and it's a lot of problem right there in Broadway. And I called the police. I went to the police department over there in Easter Avenue and tell them, please, we need help. So 2 of the police over there, they know me. I talking with the police many times, and this time they was outside. I was over there, and this was outside of Rumba where they fighting, and the same people. Like 2 weeks ago, somebody was, with a knife across the street, and was like at 2 o'clock in the morning. And the other day, like 3 days ago, with a metal tube in the head of the other guy. It's danger. And the police, I don't know exactly, they try to do the best, but we are in big problem right now, and right there in this corridor.
Okay, let me hear from the officer, and then I'll give you a chance to question him. Officer Zelno, what can you tell us?
I was walking on that evening, and I heard noise, and when I looked...
You were walking the beat?
The beat. We try to keep an individual, an officer, on that Broadway area because there's a large amount of bars. There is potential of high crime areas of people robbing individuals who are extremely intoxicated. And I was in that area doing that beat patrol, and I observed people arguing. And when I looked, there was a physical altercation going on. And then when I walked up, and I saw a large amount of blood. One individual said, try to stop him using as much English as possible. The other individual was walking away, covered in blood. And that's when I requested a Spanish-speaking officer who translated, saying both of them had pretty much exactly the same story, that they had a verbal argument in the bar. They were both escorted out, the security removed them from the bar. And then one individual did take a glass bottle from somewhere in the general area, broke it to stab the other individual in the neck.
How far from the bar were they when you saw them?
Right outside.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Henderson, did you want to add something?
I just had
Can you come? You have to come up to the microphone if you're going to speak.
general testimony from just the history of the bar and why I find some of the testimony problematic.
Okay, well, tell us.
So we've been here several times, obviously, and several things have been said on the record that I take huge issue with. Mostly, let me just get through this. On July 14th, Mr. Ramos testified, it's a bar, people complain all the time. People send the health department and send the police and call all the time for noise, and people maybe don't like the bar. The bar is there for many years, and I'm there for 10 years. I'm the Hispanic commissioner. I'm the neighborhood president of the Hispanic Commissioner Hispanic Business Association, and I try to keep the area clean and nice and the best that I can. There are many issues with this. First being that you're not the president of the neighborhood association there. You were, that's correct. You also testified on the record that you attend the Broadway business area meetings. I know the president personally, who showed me the logs from this that indicated you've not attended a meeting in 2 years. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because that's a lie on the record. So anything that somebody says now, how can the community or this board put faith in. You know, like I have a huge issue with this, and the fact that we had somebody get stabbed on the street, whether the argument started in the bar, outside, whatever. If your security put them outside, did they try to de-escalate it? Did they call the cops? Who called the cops? Why is it acceptable to push people that are fighting, that are a danger to each other, and I'm assuming other people in the area, out onto the street? Because that poses a big problem to everybody around them. And I'm tired of coming here. I'm tired of talking about this. I'm tired of seeing the violations, the trash, the lies. The lies are what really get me. And we've been down this path before. You've been told several times through 2 different sets of commissioners to come and talk to people, to talk to the surrounding community associations. Whether you like it or not, we all are neighbors. Black, white, Latino. Does not matter what your color, what your creed, what your sexuality is. We have to work together, and you have made no effort. And you know that I've taken issue with this. You know that other associations have gone on the record, submitted letters, and wanted to talk to you, and we haven't gotten that. So I'm really concerned about the truthfulness of things that are said, especially in regard to violent crimes like this.
Is this your organization, Washington Hill?
No, that is a neighboring association. I'm Fells Prospect. We didn't submit a letter this time because, well, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Did you have questions for this lady?
I would like to, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to say a few
Okay, go ahead.
things. Of course, I don't necessarily agree with this young lady. I live only 2.5 blocks from where the incident happened. I have a business on Broadway for the last 20 years. And where I lived there for 35 years, so I definitely know the area quite well. And on that particular date, on the 10th, August the 10th, approximately at 1:30 in the morning.
This was July 10th.
July 10th, rather, excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I received a phone call from Mr. Ramos, command assistant, because it was an incident that happened and the police was going to be in place, and possibly it was going to be a report about an incident that happened outside of the building.
Excuse me, when did you get that call?
I'm sorry?
You got the call that night?
Because I live and I have, in fact, I have a business 3 blocks down the street. And recurring incidents in that particular area is very, very common. It's been, in fact, it's been, for the last few years, it's been infested with, I don't want to use the word infested, but, you know, the quality of people that have arrived with all these new locations where drug locations where rehab centers, and particularly with the issue with the neighbor itself. We have asked the police department, and he was right, Mr. Ramos, the East District Commander. We are in the process of having a meeting again. And also, we want to make sure that Mr. Ramos is following the rules and regulations accordingly. We also suggested to have cameras in place and outside of the building. So this we'll have touch bases on having also understanding that the rule 100 feet from the building is in place to have security outside of the building if necessary. Well, we think the police also needs to be more active and take more active role in protecting, you know, the interest of the businesses as well as the residents. I'm as a resident and a business person in that particular area, I can assess that, you know, we have a tremendous issue of in a disagreement also with the neighborhood associations, with everything else. I have to live with that for many, many years. And so just take out into consideration, Mr. Chairman, because, you know, we're doing whatever we can to surmise the
you may
the
be, but
problem.
this is an institution or an establishment that's been before the board repeatedly. It's been fined a substantial amount of money. It's been suspended a number of times, and it keeps coming back.
But we have organization too, and we
Can
have
you speak
meeting,
into the
and
microphone?
This German here, we have meeting like every month, and we meet in different places, and it's what we in the Latino community, and this problem was outside, and the guy they fighting inside, is one guy was inside, but the other attacked from the outside. They don't start fighting inside because I was over there. The other guy was outside to smoke cigarette, and they go outside. But the other guy tried to go inside from the street and the security say
Do you,
no.
do you appreciate the fact that it's your problem because it's happening on your premises?
I'm sorry?
Do you understand that it's your problem because it's happening in front of your premises?
Yeah, it's my problem because it's in the area. I think they cannot stay around 100 feet and the littering outside, and they did. And I tried to tell them to stay away from the place. And you told me what I need to do, but this was outside. This not happening inside.
I understand that. That's your argument this time, but this young lady is speaking on behalf of her organization about ongoing problems. The Washington Hill Community Association has submitted a letter indicating that there are continuing difficulties with your establishment. This gentleman says that we should be sympathetic because it's a tough community, but you choose to have your business there. I don't know. The commissioners have questions?
How many security personnel do you typically have?
We have 2 security and 1 cleanup, and I there. So,
Okay, so
one in the door and 1 inside, and I there all the time.
And is their responsibility, as the owner, is it your view that their responsibility is not just inside but outside?
I check in the sidewalk usually just to make sure, when they leave in, it's okay, or somebody that coming, not coming intoxicated, because a lot of people come in already intoxicated, and I just tell them, no, come to my bar. And the minor, we check the ID, and but outside, it's a lot of problem. Even across the street, I saw when they drinking and they coming already with beer. And I say, wait a minute, it's no.
Mr. Ramos, do you have any idea where the broken glass came from?
Got it for the trash can outside. It's a trash can. I don't know where glass or I don't know exactly what, but it's in the outside.
And I see that the officer is nodding, so I assume that means he agrees with your statement.
Yes, sir. There is almost a trash can at every end of each block, and there is one right in front of the bar.
Okay.
It's usually filled by every night, so.
So, thank you. So, Mr. Ramos, I'm just trying to understand, you have security. Do you believe it's their responsibility to ensure the public safety outside of your bar?
I think so.
Within,
yeah,
yes.
gotta be inside and outside. But sometimes happen like this time, the guy was smoking outside in the corner, and the other guy running and have a bottle from the trash can. What he can do? We call the police right away. We try to separate, but it's outside. And like the other day, I was already close, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I hear outside, help me, help me, help me. And I was outside, and 2 guys pull a lady, a white lady. Take the telephone and everything. It's happened like every weekend. Like they know, the police know exactly what he's talking about, but it's not my place. And the other time when we have a meeting, we're talking about the empty lot. I clean everything real nice, and the inside, everything. I try to do my best. It's the business where I have my kids and my family, and I need to make it better. And I don't want to come here all the time. I tell it, everybody have a meeting. I just take classes already about the alcohol award, and I was over there and make sure I tell everybody in Spanish what they need to do, and how when they drinking more than 10 beers, and see the eyes or something. I tell them to my people, and I tell them my 2 security, and I have another people cleaning the bathroom and cleaning the place to make sure it's clean. And we have organization. We have a Spanish Business Association. I was former president of the Spanish Business Association. He's the president.
I understand that. I am personally concerned, I think, with the fact that that you have a very serious history, as the chairman suggested, but you also have, this is the second time you've come before this commission in the last 3.5 months. And in fact, let me finish. You were just here probably about a month ago or so, and this particular incident is extremely, in my opinion, is extremely serious. This is extremely serious,
I
and
understand.
I'm not sure. I understand the problems with the community, as Ms. Anderson and the officer has cited. I'm just not sure that you understand that you have some responsibility outside of your general area of the bar, and that's what concerns me.
No, I definitely, I care about my community. I want to see Baltimore back again like before. clean and nice. I was on Arco Restaurant. Arco Restaurant was top in the line Mexican restaurant for many years. I opened in 2004 until 2014. When they put the program and everything in Broadway and Star, the after Freddie Gray happened last year, it's Baltimore changed, and we're in a big problem. Wasn't the news all the time about what happened with the police and everything? But and my responsibility for outside, yes, it's correct. But this what happened outside is no inside on my bar. It's outside in the street.
So I have a question. What is your relationship to La Rumba?
My wife and me, we own. We married.
But you're not on the liquor license. You know that, right?
No, because before have Arco Restaurant.
You're not on the liquor license, correct?
No, but
And Tanya Ramos, that is
my wife.
your wife. And where is she today?
She is working in a hospital and with the nurses and everything.
Okay.
And she is working. We work together. She work and I work.
Okay. You were here before us on July 14, 2016. Do you remember that?
Because the music,
Right. And you can recall what happened, and there were some decisions made. But one of the things that I asked you on July 14 is everything okay now? Is everything good? Are there any other problems? And you said to me and to all of us, everything's good. No more problems. Everything's fine. But that was not accurate, because 4 days earlier there was this horrible stabbing.
Well, it's outside, and I
But
take
it
the
didn't
classes
start
that-
outside. The testimony from the police officer is that the stabbing occurred, it started as a fight inside La Rumba. That is the testimony, and I believe that he testified truthfully. And that is the testimony, and I accept it for what it is. So do you understand, if this fight started in La Rumba and you're pushing people out, and there is no de-escalation, there is no intervention, you're just pushing the problem out into the street, that remains your problem. That remains the problem of La Rumba.
But I know wasn't inside.
So you don't accept that.
I know because wasn't inside. I know it's no.
The stabbing occurred outside, but the fight began inside.
No, the people they wanna.
Were you
in.
there?
I testify and I agree, and I know the fight not start inside because I was right there inside.
Okay. So the officer, there was a Hispanic officer who was able to communicate with one of the participants, who explained exactly what happened in Spanish. And so the testimony is that this fight occurred inside. I have a question. So when you were here on July 14, you were fined $625, and there was a 5-day suspension. Has that $625 fine been paid?
No, they give me 1 month to pay.
So it's due by August 13, but my question is, has it been paid? All right. And then you were here March 10, 2016, and a fine of $2,225 was imposed, and I want to know whether that fine has been paid. Yes. That fine has been paid. And there was a 60-day suspension. So, but when you were here July 14, we imposed a 5-day suspension. Was that served out? Mm-hmm. Yes? And, okay, he's been given his license. My concern is there seems to be just a total lack of acceptance of any responsibility, and that's my concern. Have you had any alcohol awareness training? When is the last time? I need you to come to the microphone.
Yes, I have the alcohol right there with the inspector from here, one Latino inspector, because I think he was very, very helpful.
When was the last time you took that training?
A couple weeks ago.
Okay, after this incident.
No, I take the aware because the other I have before every year, every 2 years is suspended, and my wife Tanya take the liquor award too, the classes, and the other people take the classes before.
So the night of this incident, you called Mr. Ribadenero. Why did you call Mr. Ribadenero?
Because, I don't want, he have experience too. We are friends. I go to his bar before in Latin Palace, so he come, and we are part of the Spanish Business Association.
Why did you call him?
To let her know, oh my God, another accident outside, this happened outside, what I can do. And yes.
Here's my question for you. If it happened outside and you have zero responsibility for what happens outside, why would you call Mr. Ribadenero for help and support? You're not responsible. Why would you call him?
But I call to what I can do. I have a,
Why do you need to do anything? It didn't happen inside your bar. It happened outside. It had nothing to do with La Rumba. Why call for help?
We call every day. Every day. He called me or I call him all the time. When happens something
Why would you call him about a knifing, a stabbing outside your restaurant where you have no responsibility? It happened on the street. Why do you care?
No, really. I wasn't really worried, but even the police, when the guy was over there to give me the note, said, Nico, no worry about because this was outside. And I said, I worry because it's my place anyway.
I don't believe that
And the
happened.
same
I don't
thing-
believe they said that to you because you got cited. But why? So I'm going to ask you one more time and then I'll move on. It's not consistent. It's inconsistent to me that you would say you have no responsibility, but you call your best friend looking for help for something that you're not responsible for. Why did you know then that you were going to be in trouble?
I already stressed out. I already have, with a lot. I know that, what I need to do is start in February when they closed my bar. The police was 3 times in the same month in February, and they closed me only because hot water, because we don't have enough. With all this, so we talking after that, because he had the same problem. He was closed for many months. So we talking, and I said, look, what happened again? There is something happened outside, the police come, and he told me, Nico, no worry too, because it's outside. It's outside in the bar. Yes, but the people sent down in the sidewalk is coming all the time. They even, fighting outside, and we call the police when they fighting outside.
Yeah, but you're here because this started in your bar. So that's why you're here. Plain and simple.
Again,
plain and simple.
I just try to do my best. I really,
I understand.
And I know
And I guess the only other thing that I would say is I don't think it's the responsibility of the Baltimore City Police Department to patrol the area by your restaurant so that you can continue to do business. I mean, I don't think that's no. Listen to me.
Yeah.
Por favor. That's not why they're there. They're there to make all of the city safe, not just your place. And if your place is so dangerous, if there's so much going on in there, maybe that's where the attention needs to be paid to control what happens in there. I heard you say that you tell people after you've had 10, after you served 10 beers, maybe you should stop. But you know what? There's also a violation for over-serving. And if it's your pattern and practice to serve people up to 10 beers, that might be the crux of the problem. And that's something that you're going to need to look at some point, because serving, 10 beers to one person is a lot. But that's for another day, because you're not here for over-serving. And those are all the questions and comments I have.
But with all the respect, with all the board, and I know it's not only my bar and the police neither my bar. It's the whole area in the Baltimore, and the police is here, and they know how many times happen in the other area. It's everywhere. It's not only right there in my place.
All right, thank you very much.
Anything further?
Mr. Ramos, have you taken any precautions after this incident?
Any what?
Have you done anything differently?
Yeah, after the incident,
since this very serious incident.
Yeah, definite. I tell the security. I had meeting with the security, had meeting with my people right there, and tell them, please, when something happen outside, just check, call the police and everything, but be safe in the street, right there in the walk, but more important inside in my place. And I tell them, exactly what I read in the word.
You're missing the point. It's equally as important the outside as the inside, and some would even say it's more important on the outside. I think that's what you might be missing. Is, as Commissioner Moore has also mentioned, the outside is equally, if not more important. And I was hoping that you would have said, well, we've increased security, we've changed, we've had more security, we've increased, their hours, whatever the case may be, given the history of what's going on here. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I want to be, yes, sir.
For the record, yeah, Mr. Ramos is a friend. He's not my best friend. Number two, we have in our policy, the Hispanic Business Association, that we, whenever there's a need, because of situations we had before, to call each other and assistance to see if it can be of any help, providing not only support, but an understanding of what happened. Incidents like this is not uncommon in the area. It just happens on a regular basis. It happens, through the 20 years that I had a business down the street, a little farther down, which is a little safer. I would say maybe the 100 and 200 block are the critical blocks in Fells Point. That area needs to be consistently taken care of. And the police, they can say anything they wanted to say. And we've asked the police repeatedly on many occasions to have patrols located on in that particular corner and one corner before that, And what Mr. Ramos has done is to take precautions about situations, understanding that that he is responsible for being, within 100 feet. His responsibility has to be in place. He's not only going to institute a security issue to be taking place immediately. That's what I suggested to him, and we suggested part of the organization, is to have cameras in place, and so this way he can defend himself in a situation where he's been accused of an incident that happened outside, and now suddenly is inside of the building. Now, the only way to, offset that situation is by having cameras and having security outside so they can alleviate the problem, because I don't think it can be resolved, because that's going to continue to happen, continues. It doesn't matter whether he leaves, somebody else comes in, it's still going to happen unless the police, unless the city acts accordingly. That's what I wanted to say.
And definitely the project behind La Rumba.
Could you come to the microphone?
The project over there, Pekin project, it's a big problem right there. I think it's in the schedule to remove or something. I saw some sign. But this is where really, all the police and everything is concentrated and coming right there in Pratt, coming right there in the corner to Broadway. It's the gate. Right there is the gate with coming from the project to Broadway. So it's a lot of crime and it's a lot of problem right there. And we saw all the time, And yes, I'm sorry what happened this, and I'm sorry coming here, quickly. I really don't want to do it, but it's, again, I need my business. I have family, I have 4 kids, and I really, working hard in my place, even painting, renovation, cleaning, and do everything I can to try to change the place and better place to be. And I invite to go over there to my place and see. Maybe she never went to my place inside, only outside. But I invite to go inside, and I invite to our meeting, and I can go to his meeting to work together.
Okay. Just for the record, is the Washington Hill Community Association letter part of the record?
Yes, it's received as opposition, exhibit number 1.
Okay.
And also like to enter board's exhibit, the Baltimore City Police Department report, as exhibit number 1.
I don't know if you've seen this, but I want to give it to you, Mr. Ramos, so that you can be aware of what their concerns are. Okay, on the basis of the record that is before the board this afternoon, on the basis of the testimony presented by the officer, the community representatives, and you, Mr. Ramos, I'll say only this. You present a picture of a very troubled community and of a series of businesses in the Fells Point area that are beset by these individuals that, according to you, are very difficult to control. But in the 3 months that we've been conducting hearings here, this is the second month when you've been back, and none of your other businesses have been here. So it seems to be focused very much upon La Rumba. We've imposed serious fines and suspensions previously, and it's not working according to the community. So I'm going to find a violation of Rule 3.12, General Welfare, on July 10, 2016, as a result of this serious physical attack in front of your premises, I'd impose a fine of $1,500 and suspend your license for 10 days. I give you 30 days to pay the fine.
And,
I will concur with the finding. I join in that finding. I accept the testimony that this incident began inside of La Rumba and then was allowed or forced to spill out into the street. It was not contained or resolved within La Rumba. This is a very, very serious offense, stabbing in the neck with lots of loss of blood, which could have led to loss of life. I don't know that actually what happened with the victim, but it's a very, very serious violation. And, you know, I agree that, you know, we've been here 90 days, I guess, and La Rumba is the bar that has come back twice, and we've not heard from others. So there seems to be something very troubling going on there that needs to be addressed, but it has not been. So I join in the imposition of the $1,500 fine. There's a $125 administrative fee, and my thinking was that this was a place that needed to close for longer than 10 days, but I will concur with the imposition of a suspension of the license for 10 days.
So I join my colleagues, although I do just dissent on the suspension. I think it should be longer, personally, but I'm outvoted. I do think I think 30 days would have been appropriate because I think you've come back again and again. Your answers to my questions about precautions, security, still hasn't taken place. Cameras still hasn't taken place, and I'm disappointed. But having said that, you know, I agree with the $1,500 fine and the 10-day suspension, which my colleagues are you know, have decided. And I hope, Mr. Ramos, we don't have to see you again. I hope you get this in order, and I hope you get it in order immediately.
Thank you, sir.
Can I start close on Monday?
No.
At least?
I think that I think that the closure needs to happen, you know, immediately, and that I think it's 30 days to pay the fine. Yes.
I think that concludes our docket.
It does.
Yes, it does.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.